And she really loves her grandson. Like, really loves.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat.
Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot. Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
Stillman College is an HBCU in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where we prepare students for a different world. Stillman is a college of distinction. For last year and this year, our largest majors are business and biology, followed closely by psychology, criminal justice, and history for pre-law, communications, English, and religion. Our newest degree programs are in the Department of Computational Sciences, which covers cybersecurity, data analytics, and math. The Biomedical Academy prepares students for competitive entry into health professions and graduate programs. We have established summer biomedical research internships with major research institutions, such as the University of Alabama, Drexel and Temple Universities in Philadelphia, the Salk Institute in San Diego, California, and the universities of Florida, Indiana, and Iowa. We became creative with social distancing and masks for the pandemic. Our students enjoy movie nights at the stadium and the new Melissa and Davis Legacy Courtyard, where you can eat and enjoy friends. We have the Divine Nine Greek letter organizations, student government leadership, and ambassadors. Our small class sizes, nurturing faculty, and friendly environment let you know that Black Lives Matter at Stillman College each and every day. Applications are free. Sign up at discover.stillman.edu. Complete the contact card and apply today. Stillman College, where we prepare students for a different world.
Now, you can live in Texas and not have a good red meat blend. Texas Cowboy Dust is designed for steak and other red meats. It's out to be my most popular spice blend, made with onions, peppers, ground mushrooms, pink salt, and other spices. Texas Cowboy Dust also goes great with chicken, pork, vegetables, and adds a restaurant quality sheen to gravies and sauces.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Vanilla smoked sea salt seasoning is for seafood. The tarragon and fennel bring out the natural sweetness in seafood. I also use it in rice dishes, on yams, asparagus, blueberry pancakes, and believe it or not, chocolate chip cookies. Vanilla smoked sea salt adds a salty and savory component to sweet dishes that create a symphony for the tongue.
Can I get the now bar, please?
$1.
Have a good one.
Got it.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Let me get a now bar.
Sure.
$1.
Appreciate you.
Got it.
Nope. Nope.
Come on, him?
Ooh, I like him.
The quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up messes quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less.
He's an 8.
He's a 9.
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
What's up? What's up? What's up? It is the first day of March 2023. How the hell are y'all doing? All right. As Tupac would say, new drink, Alizé. So, for February, I didn't do a lot of posting, my personal posting and stuff like that, because it's all about, for me, the person, it's all about Black History Month. So I try to stay focused. It's March the 1st. What's going on, Felicia? Thank you. Hold on. What you mean, Robert? Don't, hold on. What's, oh. That's just something else that just flipped on. I don't know how that happened. All right, anyway. So it's all about Black History Month. So now it's the 1st of March. We're going to get into some stuff and talk about what's going on. I have issues, severe and deep-rooted issues. And as I talk to my super producer, who keeps me focused as best she can, I wonder why we're such a race of evaluators. We want to evaluate and weigh in on everybody's personal decisions and say what people should or shouldn't do based on what we think. And it's, what's a good word? It's cute, but why? Why do we feel the need to weigh in on other people's situation? And why does it bother us so much? And I think that's where the confusion is. And as I'm looking through some posts, we're gonna talk about some things after my first break, because I'm not sure why it is we have to have things in such extremes. I saw a post where they were saying, people who say, if you like it, I love it, generally don't care. And I truly believe that. Because if you like it, I really don't have shit to say about it. I ain't gotta love it. As long as it don't involve me. I'm not certain where this general philosophy came from that says we have to be a part of all of this. I'm generally not certain where the general philosophy came from that somebody's life-altering decisions or whatever they choose to do has absolutely anything to do with me and or how I feel. I'm confused. I'm uber confused. And so we're going to run into that. Yeah, we're gonna get into that. Mo, I'm going to send you a link so you can come on here with me so I don't ramble and I can hear your thoughts too. But yeah, it's the 1st of March. We're going to get into stuff because we got 10 more months, give or take a few days of nothing but hair raising and uncomfortable conversations to see what gives us why do we think our opinion matters so much to so many who have nothing to do with us? They got to be famous and rich without us. Do you really think they care? Some people got to be broken, unknown without us. Do you really think they care like that? So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. We're going to check and see what's going on with this Facebook thingy. And we'll be back in a few.
This is Brian Fulford. AD Drew and I are co-hosts of the BCSN Sports Wrap. We talk about all things related to HBCU athletics. From the games, teams, coaches, and fan interest stories, we cover it all. You can find our shows on Facebook at BCSN Sports Wrap, YouTube at MyJBN Online, and everywhere you listen to podcasts like Anchor, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. You can also find the show on the Jericho Broadcast Network's app. Make sure to download. We look forward to you joining the conversation and being a part of the show.
Follow the Black College Sports Network and all of our shows on YouTube. You can find us at MyJBN Online and on all social media at MyBCSN1.
You see, Head & Shoulders has a scalp shield technology, protects against flakes, even between washes. It's never not working.
Kind of like us. Number 15?
Never not working.
I don't like this one.
Me neither.
Let's get out of here.
Head & Shoulders scalp shield, never not working.
When times get dark, we can't see the help that's all around us. Let 211 be your guiding light for mental health and other resources. Call 211 or visit 211.org.
For 200 years, Montgomery, Alabama has been making history by people who had the courage to stand up for change. Today, this riverfront city has been reborn, embracing the past and looking forward to the future. From the National Memorial for Peace and Justice to the stage of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival, this is where history was and is made. We are proud to call Montgomery home, and together, we can be the change.
It's been difficult because I hadn't been able to see my grandchildren.
An expression on someone's face when you do something nice for them.
I miss all my friends in school.
Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision about COVID-19 vaccine.
Let's face it, shopping for insurance can be time-consuming. That's why when it comes to your auto, home, and life insurance needs, make things simple and trust the experts at Allstate. They will help you get the coverage that fits your needs while helping you bundle your life, home, and auto policies. Bundling saves you money, sure, but it also saves you time, so you can enjoy the things that matter most even more. Contact me, Tammy Haynes, your local agent, for a free personalized insurance quote. Allstate, are you in good hands?
This is Carlos Brown, letting you know that we're on the move. You can now catch the Carlos Brown Show beginning this July on the Black College Sports Network each and every Saturday from 11 to 1 Eastern Time. That's 10 to 12 Central Time. Same time, new place. On Facebook at the Carlos Brown Show and Black College Sports Network. Online at www.mybcsn.net and on the BCSN app available on Google Play and the Apple App Store.
Since 2002, Empowerment Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has empowered more than 1,500 youth and adults in Duval and surrounding counties through its programs Journey into Womanhood, Girls Mentoring, Life Skills for Teens, and parenting education coaching. To get involved with programs, volunteer, or donate, visit www.empowermentresourcesinc.org. Follow us on social media, facebook.com/empowerment.resources and instagram.com/empowermentjax.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
All right, and we back. We back. So, in 2023, as we've done previously, we want to talk about how to make things better. We want to come up with problems and come up with viable solutions. The more the merrier. But one of the things that we have to do in this process is realize our own personal shortcomings and how we try to interject on other people's life. Just because I overcame a problem does not make me an expert on overcoming the problem for everybody else. It just makes me better at overcoming my problems. Me and somebody else can have the exact same problem, but chances are we don't have the exact same influencers. I can use my producer. My producer can be having a problem at work. I can be having a problem at work. We do two different things. So my solution may not work for her. I can tell her what I did, but what I cannot do is tell her what she should do because I do not know the influences or what's going on in her world. And I think it's always cute when people try to tell you what to do, or they express, oh, it couldn't be me. Good, there's a good chance you're right, it couldn't be you, because a lot of times you're not in a position to make decisions that have the same weight. I can remember a guy telling me what I should do with my money. If I had your money, I'd be like this. And I'm thinking, if you had my money, I'd be like you, broke. So, man, why you have to go there? Because you're trying to tell me how to spend my money. I don't recall asking you for advice. I don't recall asking you for help. I don't recall telling you I was having money problems. But you feel like you know better to do with my money than I do. You don't have a clue as to what bills I pay, what investments I have, anything. You're just offering random advice based on absolutely nothing. See, me and my producer, we have little chats in the green room, just between me and her. And they're just chit chats. But I don't tell her what she should do, because until she gives me certain things and asks me questions, she's just talking. And we need to learn how to listen. We need to learn how to accept another person's point of view. We need to learn how to accept basic conversation as being just that. Now, I may be able to give her something comparable without her questioning me, but before I try to solve her issue, which may be an issue only to me, why am I trying to solve this if she ain't said, yo, D, what do you think? What do you think I should do about this? Or what do you think this is? Yada, yada, yada. And it's crazy when I see people going through such extreme measures to offer unsolicited advice, and they're turning things into a problem that ain't a problem. And the bulk of my friends are probably women, not by a large margin. The bulk of people who complain are men, because men want me to complain about women. And as we discuss on this show quite a bit, I'm going to have my producer on a couple of shows. She's a woman. She can give a woman's perspective. She can tell us things that are true for women, not. She can tell us things that are true for her. She can't sit around and tell me realistically what all women do. She can say, D, this is what I would do. D, this is what I would do. I can then counter and say, Mel, this is what most women do in my experience, since I've dated multiple women. But I still can't say what all women will and won't do, no more than I can say what all men will and won't do. But she can give a better example of what men will do, because she's dated far more men than I have and than I ever will. But we get so caught up into thinking that my screwed up way to justify it, I'm gonna try to act like it's something that everybody does. That is the definition of insanity. Trying to put off my bad behavior is something that everybody does, so that way I don't have to be accountable or responsible for any decision I make, because everybody's doing it. What is it everybody's doing? The show last week, Mel threatened me. She was gonna beat me up. Purely we are joking. For those of y'all who don't know how we do this, we're joking. But me and Mel have had debates where we don't agree on something. I didn't feel like she was emasculating me because I'm still confused on what the hell that is. That's what the next show is going to be about. The emasculation of Mel by these unforeseen forces. She had an opinion. She wanted to voice her opinion. She did so. It was in conflict with my opinion, but it did not put us in conflict. It just means we both had a different point of view. And there was absolutely nothing wrong with that. Nothing. And I'm sure that as a species, as a group of semi-intelligent people, what's up, Crystal, that we enjoy healthy exchanges of information. We call them dialogue. I guess if somebody raises a voice, it's a conflict, when it's absolutely not. Sometimes conflict looks like passion from one person, but for that person who is insecure, they see it as challenging. But I am willing to bet dollars to donuts that no man or woman who is successful at what they have done or what they are doing that has a partner did not do it with a passive, overly submissive partner, because somebody has to sit there and check them and ask them, is this a good idea? Is that a good idea? What do you think about this? Somebody had to push them a little bit harder. Because one of the things that me and Mel were discussing earlier, and we've had this discussion with Trina and some other people, even with me, everybody wants to be ready to start something. Well, for me, this is how you can tell a lot of good people who are destined to be better business people, because they're always trying to fine-tune their product before they just jump out there. But there's no way you can fine-tune it to the max. There's always going to be something that you didn't think about, but that's not the point. The point is they're not ready yet. They're not ready yet. And there's never a perfect time, because you will never be ready, because you're trying to make it the best that you can before you put it out there. But you won't know until you put it out there. So sometimes you need a push from somebody. For those dudes that are insecure, that push will come up. I told you I wasn't ready yet. Well, when are you going to be ready? I mean, how long are you going to be doing this venture? How long are you going to be up in the basement, down in the basement doing rap music at 60, talking about your rap career, but you ain't never put out no music? It ain't there yet. Well, you can only look at something so long before you realize you lose objectivity. You have to let other people listen to it. You have to let other people see what your product is. Crystal started the eyelash line. At some point, you just have to go out there and do it. You just have to jump out there and see what happens, and then start making decisions. You can't make a bunch of decisions just in your basement, in your attic, in your own head. You need feedback from somebody who is constructive, who is actually thinking about purchasing or investing in your product. But the experts who don't have shit have a lot of things to say. That to me is the insanity portion of it. They have a lot to say, but they have no viable background in said subject matter. And we can talk about a lot of different things, whether it's educational, sexual, whatever. It's just there. So I get a call, kind of hostile, and ask, well, what makes you an expert in this? Well, I never passed myself as an expert. What I did was I said I will address uncomfortable conversations. But anybody who has ever come to me for advice know that my advice comes with a homework assignment, because I can't tell you what to do. I can give you options. I can post your thing on my page, and you can listen. You can read what other people say. Do what you want with it. It's your baby. I can't tell you what to do, because I can offer you advice. I can offer you a solution, but ain't but one person got to live with the decision that you make. And it won't be me. So therefore, I stay away from telling you, well, this is what you should do. I can tell you what I think I would do in my position, but I also know what I have to lose. I know what I have to gain from it. I know where my input is. I know what my cutoff level is. See, somebody said, oh, you do shows, but you won't talk about this. You're right. And I've said there are certain subjects I won't talk about because they pay my bills. I'm not stupid. Why would I talk about a client or something like that, somebody who was influential to me? Why would I do a show and bring them up and lose my funding for my personal lifestyle? Because I forgot, because y'all can't be bought or rented, but you go to jobs that you hate. You work at a job you hate. But I bet when you go to work, you don't go tell the boss, not your manager, not your supervisor. You don't go tell the boss, man, this job sucks. If I can find me another job, I'm leaving this job as soon as I do. Because you won't make it to the end of the day. So you're smart in that respect. That's why we go to jobs that we hate, because it pays the bills. Most of us aren't in a position to just arbitrarily leave and have our bills taken care of. Except for that guy that's living in his mama's basement. Except for that guy that's living with his baby mama, for the baby he ain't legitimized and ain't paying nothing. Except for that guy or woman who has found their own personal superhero, Captain Saberhole, be it man or woman. See, those people can afford to make reckless decisions. They can afford to chip in on everything because they don't have nothing to lose or gain. Somebody's taking care of them. They ain't working, so if they don't get a check, well, so what? Somebody's taking care of them. Sounds cute. So I'm looking at social media, and there's some things that personally I don't care for, but I personally don't feel the need to bring that out. Who cares? Who cares? Me and Mel can be talking, and Mel can say something about Nike, because I'm just using this for an example. She could tell me she got her a fresh new pair of Air Force Ones or whatever the new Nike craze is, and I can sit back and start talking bad about Nike. Why? She didn't ask me if I wanted a pair. She didn't ask me what I thought about them. I just feel the need to input my negativity into her world. Then I wonder why she don't want to talk to me, because we are experts at inputting negativity into the worlds of other people. That to me is insanity, because if you're surrounded by people who want negativity, hey, do your thing, but that's not what most people are looking for. I would say the bulk of the people who reach out to me or whatever, they want to make their own decisions, but sometimes we're confused with what it is we should be looking at, because a lot of times when it's personal, it's emotional, whether we accept it or not. And emotional decisions are what override us. It's the reason that some of us stay in relationships too long. It's the reason that some of us do dumb shit, because we are emotionally invested in a project. And you do want positivity. Don't get me wrong. There shouldn't be a lot of negativity, but there should be a lot of decisions that could lead to negativity, but don't come with a negative vibe. Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. You know, people always want to tell you what you can and can't do based on their inability to do something. How is that my issue? Because you suck as a human being. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting it. So you just have to let people do what they want to do. And if iron sharpens iron, some of the best lessons you're going to learn are going to come from failure. But you have to try. You don't know what your limit is if you never push. You just can't have a clue. But at some point, you've got to push the boundaries to get there. Just saying. And every now and then, you find out you push too far, you push too hard, you push too quick. And go from there. But this is what most people don't like, because we just want instant success without the work. Instant success, no work. So there are times when, and like I say, I'm gonna use Crystal because I know she started her eyelash thing. Once I saw her put up, so I never knew anything about it. I shared it because we can promote positivity. Now, if we're being totally honest, Crystal knows that there's a 9 out of 9 chance that I'm not going to get any eyelashes done. It's just not what I do. But I'm not about to sit here and say men don't do that, because I know men who get their eyelashes done. I know some dudes who I think get eyelashes put in. Hey, it works for them. It ain't got to work for me. If they looking for some eyelashes to get done, they in the Colorado area, hey, go check out Crystal. The ones I saw she posted, they look great. So the fact that I can't do it, why would I bring negativity to that? You know, when I'm going to get Mel to come on the show, and we're going to talk about some of the trip planning that she does. Because sometimes you don't know where you want to go. You hear what other people do. You hear. But do you want to follow them? Or do you want to go somewhere different? See, because if nobody tells us anything's different, we're going to go to the same places. I would never knock a first-time traveler. Yeah, your first time going on a cruise, my advice is to take a small cruise to see how you interact with the ship. Don't start off taking a 10-day cruise. Take you a 2 or 3 day cruise. Go to Jamaica or the Bahamas, whichever one is the closest. Go there. See how you interact. See how you feel on the ship. Because being seasick, from what I'm told, ain't nothing nice. And you don't want to be stuck on this ship if you're seasick, because then it will make the experience horrible for you. So you'll learn something. Maybe you need to fly. But where do you want to go? If you talk to somebody who does this type of thing, as my super producer Mel does, and she's going to come on and talk about it later, and she probably going to do the voice of God thing and talk from above, and that's okay. But this is where people can give us insight or give us offer, they can tell us things. Everybody know about going to Jamaica. Everybody know about going to Dominican Republic. But hey, I've been to Saudi Arabia. Ain't many people can say that. The military paid for that. I've been to the Mayan ruins. There are lots of places to go other than the standard thing. So sometimes we have to reach outside and get into these things. But we will only get that when you have a positive mindset and you reach out and you're willing to help other people who are willing to help you. And Crystal, anytime, I want to support the people that support me. You're a regular member. If I can help any kind of way, I'm gonna do my part. I'm gonna do my part. If we were in Colorado, I let Trina come get her eyelashes done. But because I can't purchase from you doesn't mean I can't promote you. As I was talking to Mel, I want to promote what she's doing. We're going to get into that. Not this show because she ain't ready yet. So we can talk about this. And these are the things that when somebody's doing something, we should be more inclined to share the positivity. We should be more inclined to congratulate their willingness to step out on a limb and try something different, to explore and expand. And you can sit back and, once you have a conversation, you can ask them questions that aren't negative, depending on what their avenue is about insurance, about costs, about their experience. Let them tell you. And then share with them. And then say, hey, well, let's do this. I'm all about empowering us the best way we can without trying to break everybody down. Even when it comes to relationships, you got questions. I'm big on telling people you got to write a list of pros and cons when you're at that crossroad about whether to stay or leave. You can't do it in your head because you're easily influenced emotionally, which is what most of us are. Even though men love to swear we're so logical. What up, Dougie Fresh? Men are not logical. We like to use that concept to try to make everything we say be true, and it's total bullshit, which shows you our illogic. We just don't want to deal with the fact that we're emotional, which stunts our growth in a lot of areas, because if you fail to address an issue, you'll keep overriding that issue and it'll keep causing you subliminal problems because you never addressed it. I see my man Mo is here. So Mo, right now we just talk. We just doing some things. Men what? And men love to say that they're logical, Samuel, but they're not. That's why they're so easily pushed into doing certain things. That's why men will fight because a man steps on his shoes. There's nothing logical about a man stepping on your shoe that you put on the dirty ground. Nothing. Nothing. How many women fight because somebody stepped on their shoe? But we'll do it in a minute. We will fight because we feel disrespected. Tell me where the logic is in that, Samuel. Because, Mo, you got your mic on?
I got my mic on, yeah.
Okay, so let's just say Mo don't like DVP. Mo say something out of pocket. I go check Mo and swing on Mo. Now that I hit Mo, what are the logical options? He can hit back, he can shoot me, he can stab me, he can call the cops on me. Which one of those? Where's logic in what I just did? No, he ain't gonna respect me no more. He ain't gonna change his mind about not liking me. It's only gonna reinforce what he just said. He don't like. Oh man, DVP crazy. Blah, blah, blah. So when I hit him, what did I just accomplish? Not shit. It made me feel better. When you feel better, feel is the operative word. It's emotional. It don't make you no smarter. There was no logic behind the decision to do it. So how are men more logical? But we will push that narrative. Go ahead.
Let me just add to that, because you didn't say one option. The other option, I'm not saying that I would choose it, but the other option is I could also walk away.
See, but is anything that I do gonna make you respect me anymore?
Oh no, not a chance.
So what was the logic? What was the logic behind me swinging on him?
Exactly.
I ain't said it always resulted in violence. See, you push it. I just said men fight about it, and we know this. Men fight about shoes. It happens all the time. Every time. Look. Why do clubs have security? It ain't for the women. It's for the men. It's for the men. And the fact that we won't accept this shows how illogical we are, because there's no way around it. There's no way around it. And I was having a discussion with the man, and he's like, "You trying to act like emotion is a bad thing?" I never said that. That's what we take it. We watch sports events. Sports are overrun by men. When you see the end of a game, the Super Bowl, you see grown men crying. Why are they crying? Because it's an emotional game. The game of football don't make you cry. But when you're an athlete, you become emotionally invested in what you're doing. Why do we cry? Why do grown men cry when there's a baby, when their wife have a baby? It's emotional. There's nothing logical about the whole scenario. And I'm not talking in absolute, Sam. That's you. You're saying what don't always happen. Men fight because they feel disrespected. Men fight because of something somebody said to them. Men fight simply because of the action of somebody else. Now, if we're logical, Mo, what's a good reason to fight somebody? Logical
Smack
reason.
my wife. They smack my wife.
If they make physical contact with him or somebody that he is supposed to be protecting, that is a good reason to fight. Nothing else. If somebody say, "Mo, man, your wife is ugly as a Chinese mule." what? Oh man, you ain't gonna disrespect my wife, so he hit me. So now he go to jail. There's no logic in that. There's no logic in that. And Sammy, you know that this is what men fight over. We've been doing it for years. Our favorite line is, "I ain't gonna let nobody disrespect me." You can't stop nobody from disrespecting you. There is no other than killing them. You cannot stop them. Why do we care so much about disrespect? Because of the feeling. The feeling. Because guess what? And like I said, I can use Mo because he's my boy. If Mo don't like me, if Mo don't like Trina, you know what I can do? Nothing, let him come to the show. There's no reason for me to fly the way he is and get up all in his face and be poking him and go to jail, because there's no logic in spending bail money because of the way he feels. Because guess what? He still ain't gonna like me. He still ain't gonna like my wife. So what did I accomplish? But see, Sammy, you're making it personal. You had your feet stepped on plenty of times. And I would be willing to say, Sam, that you probably never hit a woman. But we know that there are men in jail for hitting women. Don't take it personal. Why do men hit women? What's the logic in that? Since you say I'm dealing in absolutes. What's the absolute? Because I don't ask you to be on the show. But Mo, have you heard of men hitting women?
Of course.
So what's the logic behind a man hitting a woman?
Well, I can't say there's logic, but I can tell you what some of the reasoning is. Some of the reasoning is that egos get bruised easily. So I don't know if you want
that's a feeling.
Right. I don't know if you want to classify that as a real man, but you know what I mean. That's what I've seen happen. Some of the egos get hurt, so they hit. You know, they determine that they're gonna hit somebody, but they, you know, them same guys won't do it to a dude though. That's, you know, I know that's another story, but them same guys might hit female or hit their woman, but they won't do it to a guy. You know, I've seen that several times. In fact, I lived in a. Check this out, man. I got to tell this story since you on this. But I lived in a two-story family, two family home. Upstairs, my landlord lived, and downstairs we lived. And every Sunday, the landlord's son would come visit him, and he have his daughter with him. And the landlord's son would have his wife with him. Man, every time I saw that lady, she had a new injury. First time I saw her, she had a patch over her eye. Second time I saw her, she had her arm in a sling. And when I saw that, man, you know, I turned to one of my friends and I let him know. I said, "Listen, man, I think this lady is getting abused, man. She's getting beat up by her husband." And I said, "Man, I feel like I got to do something." He said, "Don't do nothing." I said, "What you talking about? Don't do nothing. This woman's getting hurt." He said, "Man, if you jump on him, she's probably gonna jump on you. So just stay out of it. The only thing you can do is call the cops. That's it."
And that's it. Right. Okay. And Doug says, I ain't gonna lie, my blood will boil quicker if I feel like a man is disrespecting my lady than it will. Okay. Again, so if we are logic driven, why would you be upset because he's disrespecting her? What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? Walk away? Because that's the only logical solution is let your feet do the walking. See, when this is funny because I have to have this conversation too many times with men because we're so in denial. We are so in denial. Oh, I ain't emotional. I'm logic. Everything. Well, why are you raising your voice, Chief? Because you're getting emotional. Why are you getting the closed off stance? You're getting emotional, and this is what makes us who we are, and why we are so easily manipulated. Because what's women's favorite word to tell us when there's an argument? Oh, I can hurt you with my words, because they know they can, because they know we are easily manipulated. See, you can call a woman a bitch. She been called a bitch before. She may look at you, she may laugh, she may say your mama. When you call a man a bitch, she ready to fight. So who's the logical one? Who's the logical one? And you keep saying I'm talking in absolution, saying what is my absolution? Of course, women hit men, but guess what? Women admit they're emotional, so there's nothing to hold them accountable for. They've already admitted they do emotional things. Men won't admit they react on emotion. But I guarantee you, 90% of men who are in jail for emotional reasons because they did not have the good logical sense to walk away from a situation. I'm going to jail. I'll defend mine. So when you go to jail, and I'm gonna use Mo because he's my boy. Me and Mo, we next door neighbors. I tell Mo, I see him out cutting the grass one day, and I just walk over. I said, "Man, why you got your little horse ass ugly woman cutting the grass?" Mo hit me. I call the cops. Mo go to jail because Mo gonna say he called my wife horse ass ugly, and the police gonna look at him and laugh, and they gonna put him in handcuffs, and they gonna take him to jail. So now while he's in jail, who's gonna defend the woman he swore to defend?
And
I just want to know who's going.
Let me just add something to that, DVP. This is an important point because in that scenario, my wife did not even get insulted. I just want to point that out. My wife didn't get insulted.
Exactly. What happened? Your feelings got hurt.
Exactly.
Your feelings.
Exactly.
Your feelings got hurt. And this is what men respond to over and over and over again. And then they sit back and swear how logical they are when nothing about this is logical. Nothing. Let me give you one of the best examples I can give you. One of the best. A man can be in a relationship with a good woman. Good woman. She cheats. She cheats on him. He leaving. Why is he leaving? Because she's still a good woman. She just cheated. She made a mistake like everybody else. Feelings hurt. You feeling some kind of way. You thinking the dude she cheated with blew her back out. Yada, 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 yada. But you're leaving. A good woman who made a simple mistake because she's human. But when we cheat, we want them to stay with us. And guess what? If it makes sense, a lot of women have stayed with a man who cheats because it's still a good situation. They don't want to have to go start over. They don't want to have to do this or this or this. They make a logical decision. It's not emotionally driven. My wife, and like I said, again, I don't know their specifics, but we're going to just say, my wife can't afford the standard of living if she leave. So her logical decision is going to keep her standard of living, especially if Mo is trying to make amends. She ain't just finna up and go. But men, we're so emotional. As soon as we hear our woman cheated, we bouncing. We are bouncing. That is some, and those that go to prison for committing violent crimes have to deal with the consequences. But you missing the point. Why did they commit the violent crime? It was emotion. It was not logic. There's no logical reason to commit most violent crimes. If I hit Mo's wife and hit me back, there's a 99% chance she ain't going to jail because you can use force to defend others. Defend them from other bodily harm. But if he just hit me because of something I said, Sam, that is emotional driven. Doug just gave you the best example. He feels some kind of way if a man disrespects his woman. See, this is what we don't accept. We won't accept this as a fact. I didn't just make this up. I want us as men to understand we are emotions. Once you realize that you are emotional, guess what? It's easier to deal with because then you can start assessing your triggers. If you want to admit that you're emotional, you don't know when you're triggered. You don't know when words hurt you. Because clearly we are triggered by words. Clearly.
And it's not just words either. I just want to add, it's not just words either because this example I'm about to say is something I had a conversation with a friend about, and he told me that there was a guy who thought he was looking at him, and so the other guy stepped to him and said, "What you want, homie? You want something?" And the guy just said, "Nah, man, I don't want nothing. I was just looking over in that direction." He said, "Oh, okay. I thought you was mad dogging me." That's straight emotion.
Yeah.
Straight emotion.
Yeah. Oh, why you mean mugging me? Is it hurting you? Why you staring at me? Is it hurting you? So you willing to get in somebody, man, I ain't like the way he was looking. What's the logic behind this, Sam? See, you are trying to go from one extreme to the other. I'm going straight down the middle. You all of a sudden talking about violent crime. These are crimes of passion. Passion is an emotion. Oh, what you gonna do if somebody disrespects your woman? I'm gonna laugh with them, because guess what? See, it's just me and Mo on the show right now. Mo, where your wife at? She ain't in the background no ways.
Hell no.
All right. See, so this is what I can say for me and Mo and for damn near every man who been in a serious relationship. At some point in here, we have called our woman a B. We've called her that because she did something. So when another man said, "Oh man, your wife was a bitch," I'm thinking to myself and laughing. You're right. She's been there several times. So what am I going to fight about? He just said something that I thought, but I ain't stupid enough to say it either. I ain't stupid enough to say it to her face. So when he said, what am I getting upset about? Nothing. If he thinks she ugly, what am I getting upset about if they think she ugly? Who cares? Who cares? He ain't paying no bills. We get caught up in this. I'm not going down the middle. That was a good example talking about mean mugging, but 90% of men do not care. Sam, where you get 90% from? I would say you're constantly, they do. What happens is most people don't call the cops because there are way more crimes being committed than there are people being in jail. But I would tell you that there are. But again, that is emotion driven. Emotion. As Mayo quote, why did Will Smith slap Chris Rock? emotion, but he felt like he was protecting his woman's he felt like he was protecting his woman. Was he right or was he wrong? At the end of the day, he was wrong. But at the end of the day, most men would have done the same thing. I know a lot of men who would have done the same thing. Because the street rules say that you don't talk about family in front of people. And everybody came up with these crazy examples. I guarantee you that if Magic Johnson, Dwayne Wade, they go on a talk show with a comedian, ain't no comedian gonna say nothing about their son to their face. Nothing. They'll do it when they ain't in the audience, but in their face, they're not gonna make the same jokes. They not. Because we are emotional creatures, and that makes us, that's what makes most of us so protected. Because using your number, Sam, 90% of the time when we feel the need to do something violent, we aren't protecting anything other than our fragile egos. That's all we're protecting. Because as Mo said so perfectly, when I say something about his wife ain't offended. She didn't even hear it. So what is he hitting me for? Because he felt a certain kind of way. He felt. That's what men do. And we won't accept this because we will staunchly stand behind the fact that we're logical because that's what we're told. That's what we're told. That's why we don't know how to deal with crying, because we're too much in denial about the fact that sometimes we get overloaded with stuff and we break down, but we've never been taught to deal with that. So when we cry, it affects us. Mo, who you got a best friend? Male?
Yeah. No. Yeah,
well, it needs to be a male for this example. One of the things that men suck at. We suck at what to do if our male friend calls us crying. We don't know what to do. Now, if it's our wife, our one of our female relatives, they call us crying, we know all the right things to do. But when a man calls us crying, we don't want to be on the phone that long because we don't know what to do. We don't want to deal with that emotion. Go ahead. You gonna say something?
I was just gonna tell you, I don't know any men that's stable, that's willing to put themselves out like that. I don't know too many that's stable, man. To call somebody up, to call another man and you crying, you got to be stable. You got to have your emotions in check, and you got to understand that it's okay to do that.
You got to have what in check?
Your emotions.
But we're logical. We don't have those.
That's my point.
And I tell people, there's a guy who called me one time and we were having an issue. He was telling me about his child issue, but it just broke down and started crying. Well, I ain't that insensitive. I know that I'm an emotional creature. We talked for 3-4 hours. This is our first conversation. We ain't never met each other face to face. He inboxed me to ask me some questions, but it just broke down on me. I have to accept the fact, one, that ain't easy to just break down crying for a man because we're taught that we're not supposed to do that. When I talk about my bouts with depression, one of the main reasons I hate doing shows on it is because I know that it will break me. My voice gets creaky, whatever. A teardrop start falling. I don't want to be emotional on camera. But when it was said I need to have a conversation about it, I did. But knowing everything that it does to me, it drains me. But it's an emotional conversation. What up, Stanford? But we have to accept that we have emotions and we have to learn how to deal with them to keep us from making bad decisions and trying to blame it on logic. There is no logic in going to prison for a decision that you make that you did not have to make when your feet were working. There is none. It sounds great, but it's a fallacy that we have to stop. Mo, you ever had your heart broken?
Absolutely.
How did that happen? Because we're logical. So you couldn't have been emotionally invested.
I had to be emotionally invested, man. You're right. You know, that part, just the logic wasn't working then. I mean, this was over a woman. You know what I mean? You know, that's if you apply logic to a woman, she's not gonna be around too long. So this was
If you
about a woman. Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead, no, you go ahead.
No, I was just saying, it was about, it was a relationship, and applying logic to a relationship don't work out too good.
And that's all I'm saying. You can't even apply logic to a relationship and think it's going to be sustainable. See, men, we know happiness, we know sadness. Those are emotions. And we can't keep sitting back saying that we don't get these because we're this and not that, because it's simply not true. It is simply not true. We like to think that we're logical, but Sam, this is what you can do for me. Look out anytime in history, what war did women start? And tell me what it was about. And then look at the wars that men start and tell me what it's about.
And
what is it about?
While he's thinking, I want to point this out, that anger and hate are emotions, by the way. So people out there saying men are not emotional, don't get mad, don't hate nobody.
And we cannot get around it, and we keep trying. And we have to stop trying like that, because it's a fallacy. And the sooner we accept it, the sooner we can start the healing process. But you can't start healing if you don't accept that you have an issue. See, Mo, DVP, we can't make our relationship better if our wife comes to us and say, hey, this ain't going good, and we sit back and we give her all the things that we think are good. We just gonna keep avoiding the issue because we don't want to have that emotional conversation. Well, we went to a trip, we did this, we had dinner, we had sex, but you're missing what she's saying because you don't want to get involved in that. You're trying to use your version of logic to avoid an emotional conversation, because she's gonna give you, I would say this, in the relationships that I've been in, more times than not, when there's an issue, the woman can tell you what the issue is in logical fashion. We respond emotionally because she thought about it before she wanted to say it. She's thought about it. When we are in our truest selves, we think about things before we let go. We plot and plan so that we don't have an emotional outburst. When somebody's upsetting us, they're like, you know what, I'm gonna get that motherfucker. And we sit down and we devise a plan, we scheme, because we're trying to take the emotional out of it so we don't have an emotional outburst. What's up, niece? The act of feeling emotions is human and not gender specific. Men who feel they're not emotional are in denial because to feel emotion makes you emotional. And that's it. We just don't want it because it's not a male issue. Even if it was, and we'll stick with science. We got 23 chromosomes from our mother, 23 from our father. That means we got half our chromosomes are female related. Go ahead, sir.
No, I was gonna say not only that, but somewhere along our genealogy or in our history, somebody made us all made the males believe that emotions make you weak, and that couldn't be farther from the truth. When you're dealing with your little child, you show emotions. That don't make you weak. When you're dealing with, a wife who needs your support, and you become emotional to help her out, that don't make you weak. So I don't know where this came from, but all I do know, I experienced this growing up as well. A lot of males talking about don't cry, don't be weak, don't be soft, but I think that's trauma. More that traumatized me more than it helped me.
And Samuel, one day you're gonna come on the show. But you will take one. I never said all, and see, that's what you're doing. I ain't said. I just said men, because nothing applies to any and everybody. Nothing applies to all women. Nothing applies to all men. Nothing applies to all humans, except the fact we all got to breathe. But emotions, we all have them. And I never said people flew off the handle. Even in the situations we just gave, it wasn't about flying off the handle. It was our response. I've seen men act emotionally and beat other people. They didn't fly off the handle. There was nothing. They weren't ranting and raving. Their response was still emotional. There is no logical reason to beat somebody for something that they said. None. There is no logical reason for a lot of things that we like to keep talking about as logical.
Listen,
No,
man.
saying men. What do you want me to say, Sam? You want me to say 62.7% of men? Saying men means I'm generally speaking. This is how you are trying. This is how you are trying to take a conversation somewhere else. So when I say men and women, how can I say anything applies to everybody, Sam? Come on, make that make sense. That's like if I say Sam, does that mean I'm talking to everybody named Sam? When I say Mo, am I talking to everybody named Mo? Why do I have to keep saying some? See, that's how you want to talk. In general, when they say people do this, you think they're talking about all people? When they say the people elected, who was the president? Biden. Biden was elected by the people. But guess what? All of them didn't vote for him. But the people are who elects politicians. So you want to make one extreme because I won't say some for you. Well, then I got to start saying many, lots, a few, when I can just keep it generic. See? Lots of people watch football. Football is a great sport. Does that mean everybody watches it? No. No. More than half the world. Go ahead.
I just wanted to make this point, man. So let's just think about this during this discussion. For the men in jail, men in prison, how many of them you think have emotion? How many of them you think are emotional? Let's talk about that, because that'll give you an idea of what a non-emotional person looks like. A lot of men in jail can't afford to be emotional, so they shield themselves and protect themselves. So that's where, and then if you come out in the real world and you like that, that's definitely going to put you at a disadvantage in life, with women, etc. So men, and I don't actually understand the thought behind men not wanting to say that they're emotional. I think people have that mixed up with being feminine. DVP left. I guess I'm the show host now. So we're gonna wait for him, man. Oh, there you go. Good try, man. I know you was warming me up for what you want.
Oh, no. I had to cut somebody. I didn't want to do it on air.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah. Sam, if I say some men, which some men am I talking? Which some men am I talking about? Mo falls under the category of some men. I fall under the category of some men. So how do I separate which men I'm talking about? By saying some lot. See, that's you trying to take the argument somewhere else, which is an emotional response. Because what do they say? When somebody says something, if it don't apply to you, you don't have to defend it. When they say, oh man, men beat women all the time, guess what? I let that conversation go. They ain't talking to me. They ain't talking to me. So why do I need to step in? Unless they say, hey, D, do you beat women? Then I can respond for me. Because if they say some men beat women, if I say some men like football, Mo, am I talking about you?
You could be or you might not be.
But do you like football?
Yeah, I like football.
See, so he would fall into that some men category. If I say some men like pegging, who falls into that? So you want me to use a word that makes you feel comfortable, but some still defines a whole group of people who it may not apply to. So what's the word? What's the word that's triggering you? Because triggering, Samuel, is an emotional response. See, I learned that through my depression. There are things that can trigger me. So I have to learn how to accept them and regroup myself so that I don't make an emotional response. Because that's what triggers do. See, no more than when we go somewhere, you smell something, you hear something, and reminds you of a loss, and you have a moment where you either need a deep breathing or you cry. That's an emotional response to a trigger that you have not identified. Once you can identify those, you can be a better person. But you have to be able to do it, and you have to accept that we are emotional, that we think emotionally. We do. We think emotionally. We just don't want to accept it. See, Mo been married 100 years. I'm sure that when he was sitting down and falling in love, he didn't come up with a bunch of logical reasons why he should marry this woman. Because that's not what we do. Because if logic was the basis for most relationships, most of us wouldn't be in relationships. That's the reason why love makes us stupid, because we react purely off emotions. Purely. Some of us just do a better job of it because we accept it. We've been in relationships. Mo, me, we got our heart broken. How does your heart get broken if you think logically? Because if you're thinking logically, then guess what? You know nothing lasts forever. Why do we cry when our parents die? Why do we cry when our children die? We know that death is a part of life. We still cry, knowing that it's coming.
Let me clarify one thing. When DVP saying get your heart broken, that could also look like, your woman saying something or leaving, or saying she want to leave you or whatever, or saying she like another guy better, and then you responded by going out there and beating his brother up. So getting your heart broken don't mean you in the corner crying. It means that you feel bad and you do something stupid.
And that's it. And we do lots of stupid stuff, whether we want to accept it or not. If we were to sit back and be in a room and we all get a shot of truth serum, I'm willing to bet that all men, Samuel, can say of some stupid they've done that made no sense whatsoever. All. I would make that same statement about each and every human being over the age of 21. Because we've all done something. We've all done something. But we won't call it emotion because we wanna stray away from that word as much as possible. Because even as Mo said, when we're growing up and we get told to suck it up and don't cry, that don't stop nothing. We're still going through an emotional phase. We're still going through an emotional phase. Pulling little girls' hair in the 2nd and 3rd grade, that's emotion. It's something that we've grown up with. We just kept calling it something else. We cannot get around it, but we keep trying. And again, why don't I say this to women? Women accept that they're emotional. There are very few women who you hear trying to argue a point about their logical. So in all of history, Samuel, you found Margaret Thatcher. And she went to war because the land was being taken from England. So she went to defend property. Now look at the wars that men have started. The U.S. in particular, because we go to war on a constant basis and we don't even take property. See, if we're going to fight, we should be getting something out of this other than the feel good of knowing that we defended this. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and there's been a couple times in my life where I saw males deal with emotional intelligence like a G. So I'll give you this one example. This was my brother. He had come home from prison. He'd been in prison for like 17 years. He came home from prison, and he's sitting at the stove and he's cooking. And my mother's boyfriend. By the way, this is in my book. I wrote a book on my life. Anybody want a copy? Let me know. I'll send it to you for free. But anyway, my brother's at the stove cooking, and my mother's boyfriend. This dude is kind of like a, alcoholic. He don't really care. He don't got no ambitions on life. And my brother just got home from prison, man. And I'm hoping that he don't get in trouble, because I want him around. I want to hang out with him. This guy go up to my brother and he say, you know what? I should kick your A double snake. And my brother said, I thought it was over, man. I'm like, okay, this dude about to die. He gonna stab him in the chest. It's all over. He going back to prison. But this is when we talk about emotional intelligence. Man, he must have learned in prison because he said all he did was say he looked at the guy. He said, "I can accept that," and then he went and finished cooking. Man, I learned so much that day. It was amazing, man. Amazing.
Yeah, because as you age, we learn to stop fighting over words. But why do we have to learn that skill? Why do we have to learn it? Because we're trying to get in touch with our emotions and realize, the phrase is stupid decisions do this. They're not stupid decisions, they're emotional decisions because we feel the need to defend something that's indefensible. It's indefensible. It ain't gonna change nothing. So why? Oh, I know you ain't gonna let nobody talk about Trina. Why would I care? Why would I care? That is their opinion. Their opinion means absolutely nothing to me. And if we're gonna have a war, it's simply gonna be a war of words. They type some shit, I type some shit. They type some shit, I type some shit. But guess what? When you're being petty, you're being emotional. And there are days when I ain't nothing but petty. Nothing. Because people will try me. So I've learned to let my battle be with words. Because you're not finna frustrate me. You're not finna have me kicking my dog. You're not finna have me cussing out my kids because I'm frustrated. Now this becomes a game because now it is logical. Because I'm watching what you type so that I can use it against you. Because now I'm plotting. But I'm being petty because as most said, I could walk away. I could delete the text. I could just block you. See, speaking of blocking, I think it's really emotional and trifling. Me and Mo have an argument on Facebook. Mo decide, the hell with DVP. Mo blocked me, but he keep the argument going. So you know what that is? That's pure emotion. That's pure emotion. So you block me to stop the conversation, but then you type 3, 4, 5 more comments about me. Knowing somebody's gonna screenshot it to me. See, that's how I end stuff. See, you feel the need to broadcast, which is what we like to do when we're holding our chest out and beating it. See, that's emotion. That's emotion. When I see all these dudes yelling about their alpha males, that's emotion. Why do you need to tell somebody who you are? Ain't nobody asked. What you got, Mo?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna add, man. Look, what we're talking about here, emotional intelligence. I just want to be the first to say it's not easy to master emotional intelligence. It took me a long time to figure it out. You got to understand how to react when you think, when you feel. See, there's the emotion again. When you feel like somebody's insulting you. We saw Will Smith go up on the stage and smack Chris Rock. That was Chris Rock. That was Will Smith being emotional. There's a when you got to become a Jedi with your emotions, man, and master those things. So that way you can react how you want to react, not how somebody else wants you to react. You're being manipulated if you allow that to happen.
And understand this, even under logic, sometimes you take a L. Cause I ain't finna defend Will Smith, but I understand why he did it. Sometimes you have to make a point, let people know you ain't gonna stand by and take that. Sometimes you have to make a point because I would honestly say, based on everything, after doing some research with the history that was going on, I ain't gonna let you talk about my wife in front of a bunch of people and be disrespectful and degrading and call it comedy. I'm willing to take the L, but it's like before when I told people I was doing stuff. When I knew that I had emotional issues, I had a bondsman in my telephone and I kept some money in case I had to go to jail for hitting somebody so they would understand there are consequences to your stupid actions. It was not emotional. It was logical. It was a game plan to let them know you can't just say whatever you want to say and get away with it and call it something else. Why you hit him? Oh, I hit him because I knew I was going to jail, but I was already prepared to get out. I call my bonding buddy and say, hey, meet me at the county jail because I'm finna go to jail, so I ain't got time to stay there. Because I still ain't gonna leave Trina unprotected. So it was all part of the ultimate plan. Because even when I was gonna hit them, it was a solid plan to let them know there's a price for this. Now, the emotional part is throwing away $5,000. But sometimes, as my dad told me, sometimes it ain't about doing what's right. It's about doing what make you feel better. And again, the operative word is feel. That's the operative word.
Yeah, and
if it's a feeling involved, then it's gonna do that.
Yeah, and I just add to that, man, because I'm not gonna say I don't really want to debate whether Will Smith was right or wrong, but what I will tell you is this: I read this book called Coping with Emotional Intelligence, and at that moment, what I think Chris Rock was doing was what you call being a sniper. A sniper is the kind of person that hides behind things. So Chris Rock was hiding behind a joke, you know, and he hide then you know, and so when somebody does that, it leaves you kind of powerless. You really don't know how to react. You know, if you do something, maybe they say, "Oh, you overreacted." If you do nothing, then you underreacted, and your wife is mad at you or whatever. In that case, so you know, I wouldn't want to be in that position, but all I'll say is, you know, you have to handle that situation carefully.
Right, but you know, and you like I say, there was history, and I ain't finna say again. I'm not promoting violence because y'all know I don't promote violence. But there is a time when violence is the answer. There is a time. And the best example I can give is with Zimmerman. Zimmerman talked about all his shit and all these dudes, all these warriors, and all these thugs talking about what they was gonna do. Zimmerman was going around bragging about the fact that he shot this boy. Zimmerman was suing the family. Zimmerman was doing this. But it took a white guy in a bar to punch Zimmerman in the face. Where are all these black warriors? Where are all these black men who willing to die? Where are all these black men who willing to fight for our respect? But there's a man walking around bragging about, yeah, I shot a black kid. Yeah, he did this. Ha ha, yeah. I'm suing this. I'm suing them. It took a white man to hit him. That's how strong we are. But we're quick to fight each other. We're quick to fight each other. And as Mo was said earlier, we like, most of us like to pick on the lesser being. Bullies won't fight bullies. That's why men will argue with women, but they won't argue with a man who say the same thing. They don't want that smoke. It's logically driven. Their emotions are running. Because I'm going to say something smart to Mo's wife. I ain't going to say nothing to Mo. Mo might hit me. I think I can take a punch from his wife, but I don't want Mo to hit me. So we pick and choose some of the ways we do things. What is it? It's 7:15. I got another guest. We're going to take a quick break and come back. Because I want y'all to understand, I ain't picking at you. I'm just saying, if we don't address this, it will be our downfall. So let's take a break and we'll be right back.
Whether it's advice on managing your anxiety or tools to help you stay grounded, Coping-19 provides a range of resources and self-care tips to help you cope with this pandemic. We can help. Find the resources that work best for you at coping-19.org.
One bite of 100% Angus beef ballpark frank, and you'll say, hello, summer. Oh yeah, it's ballpark season.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
We're all about feeding your family with meat and plant-based protein that's good for the planet, good for you, and just plain good. That's all the protein you need, all on your plate.
Shop Velvet Online Women's Boutique to spice up your closet with trendy, unique looks. We have fashionable and chic looks at very affordable prices. Velvet Boutique offers free shipping all year long on all orders. Shop online at www.melvetboutique.com. That's www.melvetboutique.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram. Shop Velvet Online Women's Boutique.
Maureen is saving big holiday shopping at Amazon, so now she's free to become Maureen the Merrier. Food is her love language, and she really loves her grandson. Like, really loves.
Oh, that spin class was brutal. Well, you can try using the Buick's massaging seat.
Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Can I use Apple CarPlay to put some music on?
Sure, it's wireless.
Pick something we all like. Okay, hold on. What's your Buick's Wi-Fi password?
Buick Envision 2021.
Oh, you should pick something stronger. That's really predictable.
That's a really tight spot.
Don't worry, I used to hate parallel parking.
Me too.
Hey.
Really outdid yourself.
Yes, we did.
The all-new Buick Envision, an SUV built around you, all of you.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids' apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
All right, we back, and I got another guest with me. So before I bring him on, because I want him to understand this full level of pettiness, because he was invited to the show last week, but he had some internet issues going on because he got bootleg internet and whatever. So we already got our war words that we go at it. So understand this. One of the things about being on this show, again, and he's somebody I've never met, is you have to be able to take it as well as give it, and we don't have to be best of friends. This is where we get to know people and we expand our horizons. This is what social media in my mind is used for, to meet people that you wouldn't normally meet on a street corner or wherever it is on a normal basis. This is where you can meet people who have different mindsets, who don't think like you do. And guess what? You don't have to agree, but you do have to accept their reality is theirs. And in their reality is their truth. As I was saying to Samuel, if a woman says that all men are a certain way, maybe that's all the men she's dealt with. That is her reality. Well, she ain't dealt with all men, but maybe she ain't talking about all men. She's just referring to all the men she's dealt with. That is her reality. We can change it to whatever we want to and say she's never dealt with me. And if she ain't never dealt with me, guess what that means? That means she can't be talking about me. So why would I take it personal? Why would I take it personal? And that's what we like to do, and we don't accept it for what it is. There are some things that we can't defend because they don't apply to us. And I'm gonna use my two guests, Stanford and Mo. Have I ever arrested either one of you two guys?
Nah.
And I'm gonna answer. I haven't arrested them. So if I say all the people that I arrested exhibited these tendencies, they have nothing to say. They were never arrested. If I say all the black men I arrested, they have nothing to say. They can ask why, but they can't say you can't. Or you can't say all black men. Yes, I can. If there's a constant with every black man that I've arrested, I can state that from my experiences. And there's nothing they can say, but they can ask me why they think this, but there's no need for them to defend their honor because they're not part of the conversation. And again, Stanford, do you like football?
Love it. I used to play it.
Again, Sam, if I say some men like football, they fall into that category. If I say some men don't, another group falls. You only can answer for the categories that you fall into. If I say, men who like football, like whatever, if they want to comment, they can. But why do we get caught up in things that don't apply to us? Why do we take them so personal that we feel the need to carry a conversation in a whole nother place? That is the emotional part that I want us to start learning to deal with, because it's not logical. If it doesn't affect you, it is not logical to engage in that debate unless you just got negativity in your heart. Me and Stanford, I'm gonna give you the whole story. But me and Stanford had a head buddy moment. And look at us. But even with our head buddy moment, Stanford, did I ever block you? Did I ever say I don't want to talk to you no more? We even had a long conversation because it ain't about we always got to get along or agree. I'm trying to get his perspective. I want him to understand my perspective. And we never even got in the name calling. Even though we disagreed on a lot of things. And I would say if an outsider was listening to us, it was an argument. But he didn't hang up on me. I didn't hang up on him. But if somebody was watching us, they're like, man, them brothers right there, they're going to get at it. And it was never that. And I still extended the right to the show. And we disagreed because I don't want people on the show who can't bring a different perspective because then I'm lying to myself and I'm lying to the audience. Because the three of us can have three different ways of solving a problem. Between the three of us, somebody's going to like each one of our solutions. But no one person is going to like, everybody ain't going to like my solution. Everybody ain't going to like Stanford. Everybody ain't going to like Mo's. And that's why we have to do stuff in general. And when we say men do this, that doesn't mean, oh man, Sam, you taking it to an extreme. It's a generalization. Black men in general are overly offended by the easiest of things. I'm gonna stick to that. When I asked the question about men who use the word females to describe women, I find it offensive unless they call males males. But you can't say, oh, these females and men. Oh, and the men will say, oh, it's just words, it's just words. But as soon as I ask them, what happened when a white man called you boy? These same men who saying it's just words, now they want to fight. But in the original argument, according to the dictionary, they are females. Well, hell, according to the dictionary, we are boys. Boys means male child. We all got parents, which makes us male children. But we don't want to be called boy. So why is it different from us than them?
Because you're using the word female, not girl. That's why.
But here's the biggest difference that somebody pointed out.
I'm a man. I'm not a boy.
But dictionarily speaking, you are a boy.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right. So and it's like and if I say boy, his options are to quit talking to me, not to hit me. Hitting me is an emotional response because when he hit me for calling him boy, he ain't gonna garner no respect from me. I still ain't gonna respect him if I want to call him boy. So what did hitting me do? It cost him $2,500 because he got to go to jail now for swinging. That's an emotional response.
Yeah, guess what? I got away with that for free. I didn't knock the white boy out for calling me boy, and guess what? It didn't cost me anything.
Right, but see that. But
I'm not advocating that though. But I'm not advocating that. You're right. DVP, I promise you, you are right. We have to use the emotional intelligence. You are right. But the thing is, though, it depends on the person. And this is also in my younger years. In my younger years, remember, I'm 50 plus. So
you're old man now.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Oh no,
in
sir.
My
You
younger years,
AARP.
can't no white dude call me boy. Because especially if I'm a man, I'm gonna have a problem with you. But
it was a trigger.
As a grown man, because I know how the world works, I'm gonna think that he's trying to get me to hit him so that I can be in trouble, so that I can go to jail, so that I can get arrested. And so I have to beat him in his old game. That's how I see it.
Right, but again, it's a trigger. And if we don't understand what our triggers are, we can't accept the emotional parts of us because it is a trigger. Yeah. Now, Sam says it has racial undertones. That's what we made it. There's no undertone to it. Boy is not racial. Nigga is.
You don't think that white boys calling you boy as a grown ass man has any racial undertones? Is that what you're saying?
I can make it be that. But what do we call? We got boys night out. We got boys this. We got boys in the hood. Half of what we say is boys. We don't say men's night out. We don't say men in the hood. What do we say?
No, I say men's night out.
But when we having poker, we say we having the boys over for poker night.
No, I say that I have my friends or I have my guys coming over for poker night. That's what I say.
Okay.
But I'm rare though. I'm rare.
Exactly. So we're not talking personal. We're talking about generically.
Yeah,
what are the phrases?
Generic.
So
you're right.
And that's why But see, that's why I don't like being called the N-word. If I let you call me the N-word
Ah,
publicly, I can't be upset when they do it because they see it as a friendly term. They see it as a friendly term. And I can't do that. And Samuel, I'm gonna disagree with you. When I first moved out here to the country, and I live in the country, I'm
okay,
playing softball. I'm playing
okay.
softball. And one of the guys say something, and he look at me, and he said, "Come here, boy." Oh my God, I couldn't wait for the softball game to be over with. Cause we finna go at it. We are fixing to go at it. I done made my mind up. I done called my lady from the bonding
Yeah,
company and said,
yeah.
"Hey, I'm gonna be in Douglas County Jail. You know, I'm gonna leave my car door unlocked. It's gonna be $5,000 under the cushion. Cause I'm finna get this dude." But at the third inning, he said something to the other white guys. He said, "Hey boys, I need y'all to come over here and do this." See, he used boy as a word like hood people use nigga. It didn't mean nothing. White people love to
Okay,
call
let
each
me
other
ask you
boy.
this. Let me tell
Go
you
ahead.
this. Well, I ain't gonna tell you this. I'm gonna say this. There are times, and because of the way times are, and because of the way white people has treated us, and during the slavery days, and through the Jim Crow days, and even till now, okay, there are a lot of men, black men, that think and believe that they think that we are beneath them. I am in corporate America, and a lot of white people are surprised that I'm in the position that I am. It ain't because of my intelligence. They don't know because they don't know my background. It's because I'm black. Simple as that. You are a retired officer. So I feel you when you say certain things because of the fact that you have to fight two fronts. You do.
I can't
I
believe you.
believe you did. I believe you did it. You had to fight two fronts. You had to
I
fight your
did.
own people, and you had to fight the white people too,
Yeah,
Caucasian people also. You understand what I'm saying?
I
So,
do.
but in the professional perspective, um, you know what? I'll tell you like this. When I was in the military, I had a well. When I was in the military, one of the jobs I had was predominantly owned or was actually done by Caucasian people.
Right.
And my name is Stanford. Okay, so people
Not
think
common.
that when they read my resume, they think that I'm a white guy. So when they see me, they're surprised. You understand what I'm saying? When I was in the military and I got to my next duty station, one of my motherfucking people that was going to be in charge of me actually said this to me. He actually said this. "Oh, I thought you was white." That's what he said to me. I said, "No, I'm not white." And I asked him, and guess what? At the time, it's because of my name and because of the fact there was not a significant amount of African Americans in that particular field. Understand?
Mhm.
So race does play a part in a lot of different things and in a lot of different people's thinking. We can't dismiss that, DVP. We can't.
I
I'm
ain't
not
dismissing
saying
it.
that we have to. I'm not saying that we have to base our entire lives on it. And I'm not saying that we got to use race as an excuse for when people do things that are wrong. What I'm
But what
saying is we cannot dismiss it.
we
And from
have to make it
my
personal.
experience, I've seen both. I've seen both. I've seen when it wasn't. And you're right, it is personal. But guess
Right.
what? There's a lot of people with that personal there's a lot of black people with that personal experience.
But that's what I'm
How
saying.
about that?
We have to make each experience personal because what do we tell other people? Don't judge me by them other people. And it's like when I gave my scenario, when the guy called me boy, I was super hot until I heard him addressing the other white guys as boy. Then I know that's just the way he talked, which is why I don't like the N word. Because if the three of us at a bar and I'm like, yo, what's up, my nigga? What's up, my nigga? And then the white boy come and say it, he's seeing me using it as a familiar word. So I can't make it racial all of a sudden
I
for
asked a
him.
white dude one time, DVP. He couldn't understand, why black people get offended by that word too. And I asked him, I said, "You want to say it? Go ahead and say it." "No, I ain't gonna say it." Go ahead and say it. You want to say it so bad? Say it. And you know what he said? Nah, I don't want to say it. There's a reason why.
So why do we get upset with Boy then? When did Boy become racial?
Boy did not become racial. Boy is a... Let me tell you something. Are you on this? How old are you? You know what? You ain't got to tell me that. You are... you don't have to say that, DVP. Okay?
I'm 57. I'm 57. I'm proud of it.
Okay, good. So you 6 years older than me. So boom. Listen to me real quick, please. We in the same generation. Okay? So
when I was graduating, you weren't even in high school yet.
All right. You're right. Generations take more than 4 years, but it's okay. It's okay. Right. I got it. But I'm trying to say this is that if we are going to understand each other, we have to understand each other's culture. We have to understand that just certain things that we don't say. For instance, how many black people would go to a black function and publicly say, not I'm gonna say publicly say, I'm gonna say that, we don't run around and say white people are crackers. We don't say you're honkies. We don't say things like you cast with your Casper ass. We do say that, but we don't say it. It's not as demeaning as the word boy or nigger. You understand what I'm saying? Because white people, listen, because white people amongst other people has enslaved black people. So there's a difference. There's a difference. But when people say things to me that, oh, everybody been enslaved, white people been enslaved, but you know what? A lot of white people been enslaved by white people. I haven't heard too many black people saying in my history, enslaved white people. But you can sit there and say there's a lot of white people that has enslaved black people. That's why it means so much. You sit there and telling me about, and I see your podcast and everything, about emotions and all this other stuff and feelings. Listen to the feelings on that. That's the reason why black people do what they do. Because it's emotion. It is an emotional thing. Only when it comes to them.
But that's what I want us to understand. We can't keep saying we're logical because everything, again, is personal. When we have these conversations, how many white people do we know that were slave owners?
I don't know not one slave owner.
So, and you in your 50s, so you remember the Jeffersons and All in the Family, right?
I do.
So
I remember the Jeffersons. I remember Archie Bunker. All
right. So what was the most offensive thing? What was the most offensive word Archie Bunker used?
Nigga.
You ain't never hear him say nigga. You heard him say you people or them. I guarantee you never heard him say nigga. Never.
Okay, I'm gonna show you. You know what? I can't remember episode. I can't remember everything. I'm gonna show you.
Okay, but I guarantee you. Yeah.
You know what? DVP? No, hold on. I take that back. You're right. I've never heard him say Nick. You're right. He did say, my man right here, Mo just said, he just said just now, he said colored people. He did say colored people.
He said you 100% people, he correct. Said them people. But when we saw the Jeffersons, damn near every show, he was saying cracker and honky. Who was the most disrespectful?
The difference is, though, MVP, is this. Black people never enslaved white people. Understand?
Who was more disrespectful? So it's okay for us to say cracker and honky?
No. That's not what I'm saying. Don't twist my words.
No. I ain't saying you said it. But no. I'm just saying the show we watched, it was used in abundance of times. But we never heard from Archie Bunker. But everybody will make Archie Bunker be the most racist person when the worst word he said was color.
No, I don't think Archie Bunker was the most racist person. No, I don't think
not you.
I don't think
that's what we say.
I even watched the show Jake and the Fat Man. How about that? That's how old school I am. Okay? All right, then. All right. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is this, is that if one group of people enslaved another group of people, whatever offensive word they use to explain that group of people that they enslaved, is going to be much more offensive than the people that didn't enslave them. You understand what I'm saying? Like, can't no fucking Chinese dude, listen to me, can't no Chinese dude tell me, oh, you a nigga. I'm going to look at him like, okay, get your little chicken chang little ass out of here. I'm not going to be that mad about it. But when a white dude say it, I'm going to be a tad bit upset because I know his ancestors enslaved my ancestors.
So
and that's what it is.
If we go with your standard, and I'm gonna stick with your standard, then why not get mad when black people said since slavery started?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why not
that
too.
Why not be mad when black people say nigga then? Because if slavery started with us enslaving each other, hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
See, Mom, I told you you'd like to do that to me.
Okay,
so
my bad. I'm sorry. I apologize. You're right. Go ahead.
If we started enslaving each other first, why do we make the N-word acceptable? We shouldn't let nobody use it. Then it has no bearing. Then we know everybody who uses it mean ill will. Because we can't keep saying it's okay for this, but not this. If it's the same exact circumstance, if we're gonna hold it to slave owners, slave runners, as you say, then there were black people, there were white people, there were everybody who did it. Nobody should be allowed to use the N-word. Nobody.
Okay. Now I agree with you on that. Okay, I get it. I understand, and I really do agree.
You agree with me.
Well, hold on. I don't agree with that. Hold on. I gotta jump in here now.
Go jump in there, Mo.
I gotta jump in there now because you guys know one of our favorite comedians used to use the N-word all the time.
It's a whole bunch of them.
Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor was number one. He was the first one that broke that out the box. He was the first one that broke that out. He made people comfortable. When he said it, everybody was comfortable. I wasn't insulted. White people wasn't insulted. So, I think it depends on who is said, how it's used. That matters. Because I'll tell you right now, when I was younger, I used the word all the time with my men. And when I did that, I felt closer to them. What's up, my I'm gonna be respectful to the audience. Say, what's up, my N-word? You know what I'm saying? I felt like love there though when we did that. It wasn't an insult. It wasn't nothing like that. So I'm just saying that's another spin on the word.
Well, that's because hold on. That's because it's a cultural thing. Black people make a lot of things cool. Like for instance, we took the bad. I'm trying to listen carefully. What I'm saying. We took the bad part of the meat. Listen, we took the bad part of the meat of any animal and made it a delicatessen.
Yeah, chitlins. Yeah.
So there you go. So white people wasn't eating that at first. We made it that way because we had to do that to survive. So it doesn't make it an excuse though. No, it doesn't make it an excuse. It doesn't make it an excuse though. Listen what I'm saying. It doesn't make it an excuse. What I'm trying to tell you is that's the type of people that we are. We take the negative and somehow we can make it a positive, whether it's against us or for us.
So why we can't make boy positive?
What?
We did. Wait, we did.
Can't we make boy positive?
We did.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you how.
No, we did.
I'm gonna tell you how. Didn't Shaka Zulu make a goddamn war positive? He fought the British, and guess what happened?
No, he said boy.
No, I said boy.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. You said boy.
I know you heard.
Boy is positive.
It is. Yeah, we've done that. We've done
my
that.
My son is a boy.
Or you say that's my boy. See what I'm saying? You ain't insulting your man. That's my boy.
I think I know what DVP is saying.
Right. So
if you look at the black man, if you listen to the black man, I understand. You see, I think DVP is talking more of ebonics. Like for instance, I'm going to the crib. I don't live in a crib. I live in a fucking house. You understand? I think that's what DVP is trying to say right now.
No, what I'm trying to say is we can't. We want to pick and choose which ones we want to do, and it's because of our stunning of emotions. Because if we accept, and I truly understand what you guys are saying. Cause see, there was a time I was like y'all. I used the N-word. Now everybody who knows me knows I hate the word. I don't take it as you being disrespectful because I'm gonna let you be you. But once you call me your end, I exit the conversation because I don't want somebody to accidentally call me that because they seen me accept it from you. I believe there's one standard that you got to hold true to. Now, if we sitting somewhere in private and you want to do it, I ain't as offended. But if we at a bar, you can't call me that because I don't want nobody else to think it's a cool word because they're watching what we do. See, so
that's the key. That's the key.
Right. We're setting the standard. For
That's
all the things
key.
that we do in the bedroom, for all the raunchy talk, and I'm gonna take this to the gutter right quick. In the bedroom, we may call our woman a B word because she may be into that, but we're not gonna call her a B in public because now anybody else can call her that, and it ain't right. But if we make it passive in public, we can't get upset when somebody says it because some people can truly be ignorant of their surroundings and be like, oh, that's what they're saying. What they say, when the Romans do as the Romans do, so they doing what Romans do. So, and which is why I say, if we get in the habit of showing respect for each other, we can demand it. Because one of the things that Stanford said, and I stick to this, with Chinese people, most places have a Chinatown. I guarantee you, ain't none of us bold enough to go to Chinatown and start talking shit about Chinese people. Because them of us come out the woodworks. They come out the woodworks. You ain't finna be in there talking about Jackie Chan or Bruce Lee or no Bryce or none of that shit. You go in there, do your business. You say, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, and you get the hell on. You ain't finna say, oh, man, these chinks charge me too much. Oh, you're not gonna say that. But in our neighborhood, we don't mind being openly disrespectful under the guise of coolness or familiarity or whatever. And then other people think that they do it because they see us do it. I don't even think some of them mean to be disrespectful. They're doing what they see us do, and they too want to fit in. They want to. If me and Stanford go somewhere and I keep calling him Stanford, the first time I who speak to him is 9 times out of 10 is going to call him Stanford. Because that's all they heard me call, and they heard him answer. So now
that's true.
If we go somewhere and I keep saying, oh shit, I forgot his last name. Just take it. What's your last name? What's your last name,
Steph? Me?
Yeah.
Henson.
So if I keep calling him Mr. Henson, guess what? People gonna say Mr. Henson until he says call me Stanford. Because they gonna do it, they see him accepting. So if I don't let him call me nigga in public, can't nobody else walk up, what's up, nigga? And I was like, hey, who are you? Because it's happening in public, and that's what I want us to stop, because it evokes an emotional response to us because we feel disrespected when 20 seconds ago, when he said it, I was dapping him up and buying him a drink. So, hell, this next guy want to get dapped up and get a drink. So he say what, he figure out the code words, and all of a sudden he get punched. Well, damn, what I do? I just said what he said.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You good?
I think that what is happening is that we're comparing. Black people will get a pass. What black people will get a pass or like an extended courtesy if a black person calls a black person a nigga. When a white person says it, it's derogatory because of the fact that of what the history is behind the word.
But there's no history with that person.
And that's just what it is.
But there's no history with that person. How am I holding you accountable?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. Stanford.
No, I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you why it doesn't matter. Okay, you know what? You go ahead and tell me why it matters. I'm gonna tell you why it doesn't matter. But go ahead.
Okay, we're gonna go worst case scenario because I know you ain't that sensitive either because we already been through this. You have a daughter, yes?
Yeah.
If my son rapes your daughter, do you hate me?
I'm not gonna hate you. No, I'm gonna hate your son.
Okay, so if we're dealing with people, because I asked you earlier, how many slave owners do you know? You don't know any. So if you don't know any, why are you holding them accountable for the sins of their fathers?
Okay,
they ain't
I
done
don't hold
to
them
you.
accountable for that. I don't hold them
so
accountable
why is
for
it
slave owners.
So then why do we have this double standard and we say white people, but ain't none of the white people we know slave owners? Ain't none of the black people we know slave owners.
So let me ask you
this. Why are we holding them accountable
for
something that happened that we don't know, we don't have any knowledge of?
Okay, let me ask you this: do you? I don't believe that all white. I don't believe that white people today that we know, you and I and Mo and everything, we know slave owners. Okay, I'm not going to hold them accountable, but I will ask you this: are there racist white people right now?
Absolutely.
Okay then. All right. And Well, then I'm not going to even go any further than that when it comes to
But
that
here's the
aspect.
thing.
Wait, hold on.
When it
Let me
comes
get
to
it.
that
Quick, Mo.
aspect.
But how do we know them? They exhibit a behavior. So then we label them. But we don't just do it generically.
Negative. I
How do you
know
know they're
white
racist?
people right now that work for me. Listen to me. Please listen. I know Caucasian people right now, okay, who work for me, and I walked into this. I didn't hire them myself. They were already there. That actually believe that black people are inferior to them. I know this personally.
But that's my
But
point.
people that work for me.
You hold them
But
accountable
the
for what you know
reason why
about
I
them.
can't do anything, or anything like that is because of human resources, obviously. And because of the fact that they didn't do anything at the job, at the place that we work at, a place of employment, to exuberate that.
Right. So there's nothing to do.
Exactly. But it's still out there though. That's the point. It's still out there.
Yeah, and let me just add this. This discussion reminds me of the fruit of the poisonous tree. And the whole point is that
that's in the Bible.
People benefited. Yeah, you know what it is. People benefited.
I know,
People from the past benefited from us being slaves. And guess what? That was passed on to the generation that is aligned with us. So if somebody said, I hate these people, it's because of the fruit of the poisonous tree. You know, they got benefits that they wouldn't otherwise have unless our ancestors became slaves.
Yeah, but I agree with you on that. It is in the Bible. But that explains why it would happen. It doesn't mean that it's correct. It doesn't mean that it's justifiable. It just means that it's a prophecy that's been come to fruition. That's all it means.
But okay, so let me ask both of you gentlemen something. Because y'all worldly, y'all older than me. Don't Africans feel the same way about us? Yes or no?
Say again?
Do Africans feel the same way about us?
You know what? If you asked me this in the 90s, I would say no. If you asked me this
March the
you know
1st,
what?
2023?
Even the first, hold on, let me explain. If you asked me this from 2000 to 2010, I would say no. They don't feel the same way about us. Now that I have Africans in my employ, and I also know a lot of Africans, I'm going to say at this moment, no. They don't feel that same way about us. The majority of them. If you look at the new election that's going on in Nigeria right now, okay? They have a younger candidate who is more progressive, and they have an older candidate that is more traditional. And most of the people right now over in Nigeria are trying to vote for the guy who's more progressive. And the guy that's most progressive try to include us too. So
most Nigerians won't call themselves Africans.
Was a loaded question. It was a loaded question, bro.
Oh,
it really was. It was a loaded question because I know I have quite a few Africans that work for me right now, and they love us. I'm just like, but you know what though? That goes back to my experience, like you said earlier.
Do they use the N-word?
No, they don't.
Why not?
You know what? I'm going to rephrase that. I've never heard them say that.
Why not?
I don't know why not. Because maybe that's not in their vocabulary. I don't know. Maybe they have a different word for it. I don't know.
On your lunch break, I want you to ask the ones you're cool with, and then we're gonna come back and do a part 2. Mo, what do you think?
Let's do that.
Mo, what do you think?
I'm guessing they don't use that because I don't think that word came into fruition until we landed in America. Then that's when it started getting widely used. In Africa, I don't think it was widely used by the culture, any culture there. So
They called
that's
us
my
cotton
guess.
pickers.
Yeah.
Do you think that they have respect for us?
Africans?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they do now.
I would
I
say,
think they do now.
I
Now,
don't know the
the
answer.
era,
Oh, go
the,
ahead.
if you asked me this 10 years ago, I would probably say no.
So you
But
still saying no?
now,
So ain't nothing. So and you still saying no?
no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I said if you
I'm gonna
asked
play the
me
tape.
10 years ago, I
I'm
would
gonna
say
play the
no.
tape back for
But
you.
now I think they do.
Mo. So what did he
That's
just
what
do,
I
Mo?
did. You I just said no. Hold up, Mo laughing. Yo, Mo laughing
Mo.
as if I said something strange.
No, cause Stanford. Remember what I told you before? Mo gonna tell you what you just did, and we ain't
No,
even. Mo,
I'm
what did
not.
he just do?
You said you're
What
gonna
did he do, Mo?
rewind the tape. You said you're gonna rewind the tape. Rewind the tape, man. Go ahead.
Why am I gonna
Okay.
rewind the tape,
What
Mo?
I said was, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna make it clear so we can rewind the tape. Okay, listen. If you ask me this 10 years,
stop. Stanford, you already said your answer. Let Mo say why he laughed. We heard your answer. We heard two
okay,
different
you right.
answers. Mo, why did
Why'd
I
you
say I was
laugh,
gonna play
Mo?
the tape back?
Why'd you laugh, Mo?
No, my laugh was the banter between you two. It didn't have nothing to do with what Stanford said. But
what was? Did he
we
give
gotta
two different answers?
No, I didn't have to say two different
I couldn't
answers.
tell. I couldn't tell, man.
Okay.
I couldn't tell.
Okay, let me make it clear. If you asked me this 10 years ago, I would say yes, you're correct. If you ask me this now, I would say no. Is that clear enough?
Oh, I was clear the first time. But when you watch this,
Mo,
you only got to
are
start
you
watching.
clear with that, Mo?
You only got to start watching at the 7:30 mark.
What'd you say? I didn't hear what you say. I didn't understand that.
You only got to start watching at the 7:30 mark, and it may be later than that. I want to say 7:45ish. All right,
brother. Let me tell you something, man. Africans don't dislike us like that. Now.
But you say you don't talk to them outside of work.
No, I do. I didn't say that. I never said that. I just said have Africans that work for me. That's what I said. Don't put words in my mouth, brother.
I don't.
So what I'm trying to tell you is that I have Africans that come to my house right today, to this day. And they told me some of the things that's been taught to them. They told me they're intimate. They told me their feelings on certain things. They've actually told me how they felt about African Americans on certain things. And I had to hold my tongue on certain things because I really wanted to punch them in their fucking face. But
you got violent tendencies now.
Yeah. No. I have violent tendency, yes, but I didn't do it though. I can control it. That's the difference. I can control it. And when they did tell me this, I wanted to understand why they felt that way. And then when I found out why they felt that way, guess what the common denomination is? Guess what it is?
What is it?
White people. They was taught that that's how we are. All of us. Stay away from us, etc., etc. That's what I was told from them. And I've been told that from Africans, Haitians, even other people from different types of the parts of the planet that were black people are at. But mostly Africans and Haitians. I have Africans that's from like the Igbo tribe in Nigeria. And they told me themselves, they said they've been taught that black people in America are destructive. Who taught them that? It wasn't black people. It was white people. I'm just going ahead and fucking say it. White people told them that. Simple as that. And guess what? They realized themselves that it wasn't as bad as they made it seem like. They was told to stay away from us, everything. Have you ever noticed that every fucking race in the United States can go back to their country in which they originated from? The Italians, no matter where they at, can go back to Italy. And they can go back to see their family in Italy. The Japanese can go to Japan. Guess what? The Chinese can go back to China. Black people, we can't go back to shit. Where can we go back to? Because we don't know. Do you know?
Yeah, but that was
Mo?
no. So
Do you
no,
know,
I don't.
Mo?
But that
Do you know DVP?
I'm an American, so yeah, I can go back to America anytime I want to.
You're missing the point. You're missing the point.
No. You're trying to make me accept something that you believe. You trying to make me believe something that you believe is true. I don't claim to be from Africa.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Because you just
you're not gonna put that on me.
Stanford, you just asked me a question.
You know better than that. I'm not gonna sit there and say that.
See, you're right, because you asked me a question and you want to tell what my answer gotta be. I'm an American, so guess what?
No,
I'm at home. I can go home anytime I want to. You asked me, can I go back home? I'm at home. There's no getting around that. I don't claim to be African American.
I understand what you're saying with
American. See,
okay, guess what? Guess what? I know people that's my age right now.
Stanford.
Go. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go. I apologize.
When you go to Africa, Elon Musk is from Africa. Charlize Theron is from Africa. Do you hear Africans saying black Africans or white Africans? No, you only hear that in one place where we want dual citizenship in America.
Okay,
see? So
all right.
we
I'm going to blow that shit up too.
I want to call ourselves African American. I ain't from Africa. My folks ain't from Africa. I can't go back to Africa. Hell, my folks might be from fucking Spain. I am from America. I am from America. Right. So anytime I walk out the door, I am home. I'm home. I ain't trying to go nowhere else. I don't want to go where there's lions and tigers and bears. So when they tell us what we're supposed to be from, that's a personal belief. But you'll never hear me describe myself as an African American.
Okay, I got you. I 100% understand what you're coming from. I promise you I do. Okay? But I'm going to tell you like this. This is what I mean by that. You took it to like modern times. Okay?
No. I'm a modern
You gonna let me finish? You gonna cut me off now? Or you gonna let me finish?
We ain't got but 2 minutes left because you don't like my answer. But you asked a simple question.
You don't want me to end the show with this. That's what it is.
You asked a simple question, and I answered you, and you didn't like it, so you want to try to throw
something. And I would love to opine. I would love to opine. How about that?
But you keep saying, listen to me, so we don't get to opine.
Guess what? Hey, yo, Mo. Guess what, Mo? Okay, I'm gonna tell you like this. Okay? I have seen and dealt with motherfuckers. I ain't gonna say motherfuckers. People from Italy.
You already said it.
From Spain. Time out. Let me finish, man. Don't cut me off. We ain't got but 2 minutes. Okay? I've dealt with them. And damn near every last one of them can tell me something about something that happened in 1492. Black people, for some strange reason, which we all know why, in America, can't seem to do that. Why is that? Don't compare the plight of Caucasians, Asians, with the black man. Don't you ever fucking confuse that shit. It's what it is. I cannot go to fucking Africa and say I'm from here and from there. And you know why? Because I just do not know. But guess what? A lot of white people, listen to me. I'm talking about ancestry. You talking about modern shit. I said ancestry.
Even if we go ancestry, Stanford, do you hear white people saying they're European Americans? No. You just hear that from one group who wants something. But you don't ever hear white people saying, oh, I'm a European American.
Then so
you don't
let
ever
me kill
hear
that too.
Ever.
Let me kill that too. I'm about to kill you right now. When you fill out a job application, what does it say? Does it say Caucasian or does it say white Irish, white German, white English, white or whatever? Or does it say African American, African from a different country? What does it say? Or does it just say plain old white? Explain it to me. Tell me this.
Who did they do it for?
Answer that question.
Who did they do it for? I did. You don't like my
answer. For white people.
No. What? Stanford. See, it sounds cute,
Oh my
but
God!
white people
You didn't
ain't
answer
trying
my
to
question.
be.
But you're not answering my question,
But see,
DVP.
you won't let
What
me
does the
finish.
job
As you
application
say,
say,
listen to
DVP?
me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Ask a question and then hush. Ask a question and hush. That's the rules of the game. White people don't sit back and say, I'm from Europe. They don't sit back and say, I'm from over here. They don't sit back and say, I'm from over. You gonna let me finish? Listen to me. I'm gonna use your words. Listen to me. They don't do that. So they don't have to go through all that. We're the ones who claim not to know. But everything everybody getting from 1492 ain't because they was there. It's because they read a book. We don't like to read books. And the books we read tell us what we think we want to know. So we're easily distracted. Easily. And we blame it on everybody else. But I know where my people are from. They from Griffin, which is in America. They from Augustus, which is in Georgia, which is in America. But, oh, you should claim African American. I don't want to claim African American. I'm not from Africa. White people don't claim Europe. People don't claim where they're not from. And until you do the ancestry.com or whatever, you don't know where your people are from.
Let me tell you
only
something, man. I'm from New York
This is my show.
City.
We finna wrap up. No. That's why you should come early. But you can't make me be what I don't want to be to suit your narrative. I accept who I am and what I am. Mo accepts who he is and what he is. I can't make Mo be something he don't want to be. If Mo came from Zimbabwe and they ate people, Mo ain't got to claim that. Mo ain't never done it. He ain't never done it. We want to claim something. I don't know nothing about 1492 because I was there now and day, and I don't know nobody who can tell me nothing factual. Nobody. White people don't know, Asians don't know, blacks don't know. None of us were there factually. So everything we're getting is second and third hand. But on that note, so I don't get in trouble with my producer, because we're going to come back, and Stanford going to come on time next time. But Stanford, give everybody a passing shot, because we got to get out of here. We already 3 minutes over, so I'm going to get in trouble. You there, Stanford? You froze again.
Look, you froze up,
Mo,
man.
give us a parting shot till Stanford come back.
All that passion, man. Nah, man, this was this is what Random Thoughts is all about, man. Just sharing ideas, sharing thoughts, thinking. You know what I'm saying? Get your mind thinking, trying to figure out what, where, when, and how. You know, it's all that. And that's what we all come together to do, man. Just kind of talk like one big family.
And that's it. But we're gonna do this again. This is Random Thoughts with DVP. Y'all know Mo is always here whenever he got time. I'm gonna get Stanford back. I'm gonna get him to come on non-CPT time, on CP time. We're gonna talk about some more stuff. Next week, Mo, be ready. Next week we're gonna talk about the emasculation of a black man. Who is doing it? And how much of it is in our mind? Because I keep saying this, every black man keeps thinking they've been emasculated. And I'm not sure how somebody can emasculate me by taking a picture. So, Mo, I want you to do some research on that because I want to make sure you clear your schedule because that's what I need you here for. The emasculation of the black man. I need your logic and sound reasoning. But Crystal, Mel, y'all have a good night. We're going to do this again soon. Yeah, Stanford, it's your bootleg connection. That's what it is. Because Mel was liking you, so I know it wasn't her. But y'all know it is. Until next week, let me get my last sip. Peace, popcorn, and chicken grease, and we out.